The Qatar Grand Prix will be remembered not for its excellence in racing, but for the incredible chaos, controversies, and confusion that disrupted every single lap. This was not merely a race that went astray, it turned into a display that revealed serious problems in how Formula One is governed and executed. From the very first lap's collisions to the questionable penalty calls, both fans and teams stared in disbelief. Was this truly the height of motorsport, or was it more like a circus gone wild? Join us as we explore each shocking moment that happened in Qatar. If you have a strong passion for F1 and want to keep updated on the latest controversies and news, do not forget to subscribe to our channel. Let's jump right in.
A few days on from Vegas, what did you take from that weekend as a whole?
Yeah, challenging weekend. No points in the end as a team, so not what we wanted, but we go again this weekend.
The chaos erupted even before the first lap was finished, forewarning what was ahead. When the lights went out, every driver rushed forward, eager to improve their positions on a track that many had already said was too narrow and had cruel corners. In the crowd of cars, Nico Hülkenberg found himself trapped. The Haas driver hit some debris after another car bumped him, damaging his front wing. Therefore, he had to slowly return to the pits. Meanwhile, an even bigger drama occurred. Franco Colapinto miscalculated his braking for turn 4 and hit Esteban Ocon's Alpine. The collision caused both cars to spin wildly into the gravel, leading to early exits for both drivers. The drivers immediately voiced their concerns about safety on the circuit. During the briefings on Friday, they had already mentioned how the fast corners left little space for mistakes. Unfortunately, their warnings seemed ignored, and those fears quickly became a difficult truth. The lack of proper attention from the FIA, or perhaps their negligence, was already clear for everyone to see.
Let's just bring you some breaking Formula One news. The FIA have confirmed that Niels Wittich has stepped down from his role as F1 race director for what they say is to pursue new opportunities. Rui Marquez will take over that role from the Las Vegas Grand Prix, and the FIA say he brings with him a wealth of experience. He's been in the same position in both Formula 2 and Formula 3 as a race director. We'll get more on this story and the rest of the day's Formula One news.
In the background, problems within the FIA's leadership made an already chaotic situation worse. When race director Niels Wittich was dismissed mid-season, it left a significant gap that proved hard to fill. His successor, Rui Marx, was suddenly thrown into this role without enough time to adjust, handling both Formula 1 and Formula 2 responsibilities at the same time. Mark's lack of experience quickly became clear as teams desperately sought information during the race. Important messages like updates on track conditions and safety measures were either delayed or completely absent. At one moment, team radios buzzed with anxious questions about when or if the safety car would come out. This confusion was not only frustrating, but also posed real dangers. The situation was made even worse by the FIA's absence of a clear strategy. Decisions that should have been made quickly, such as clearing debris from the track or handing out penalties, took an agonizingly long time. This was not just a failing of one individual, but a breakdown of an entire structure struggling to maintain order under immense pressure. The issue of track safety, or rather, the serious lack of it, became increasingly obvious during the Qatar Grand Prix. It all began in a very normal way, when Alex Albon's Williams car lost a wing mirror while fighting in the middle of the pack. However, what came next turned a small problem into a huge disaster that changed the entire race. For several laps, the fallen debris lay carelessly on the racing line. As cars raced by at terrifying speeds, this debris became like a bomb counting down to an explosion. Lewis Hamilton was the first driver who faced trouble, driving over the debris and getting a punctured tire, which forced him to make an early pit stop. Soon after, Carlos Sainz suffered the same fate, completely ruining his chance for a good finish. What was even more confusing was the slow reaction from the race officials. The safety car was not brought out until multiple drivers had already been affected by the situation. When questioned about this delay, FIA officials mentioned needing evaluation time, but this explanation did nothing to calm the angry fans. Many took to social media to criticize the organization for caring more about appearances than about safety. In the Qatar Grand Prix, if there was one theme that captured everyone's attention, it was the inconsistency in the race, particularly visible in the way penalties were handled. Landonorris emerged as the center of one of the most discussed decisions of the entire racing season. The talented driver from McLaren found himself handed a 10-second stop-and-go penalty, which the stewards described as unsafe driving during a thrilling battle on the track with Charles Leclerc from Ferrari. Yet, when we reviewed the replays, a different narrative unfolded. It became clear that Leclerc had made a small shift away from his racing line, casting doubt on the penalty's justification. This decision shocked many in the paddock, causing McLaren's team principal Andrea Stella to call it a blow to fair competition. But the drama did not end there. Lewis Hamilton and George Russell also faced penalties for their own separate incidents, leading the Mercedes team to question if the stewards were being fair in their decisions. The confusion and lack of transparency from the FIA in how these decisions were made left the drivers and teams feeling lost, further damaging their trust in the governing body. In this already chaotic race, the confusion from the FIA about when to bring out the safety car made everything more complicated. Oscar Piastri, who races for McLaren, was one of the team members most anxious on the radio. He called out to race control again and again, asking them to act while debris was scattered everywhere on the track. But instead of responding quickly, they hesitated. By the time the safety car was finally deployed, it felt like it was almost too late. The damage to many teams had been done. Teams that had chosen to pit early suddenly lost their advantage, and those who decided to stay out were caught by surprise when the safety car finally appeared. The result was immediate chaos. Pit lanes filled with frantic activity, teams desperately trying to adjust their strategies, and drivers losing precious time. This lack of quick action showed not only poor management of the race, but also a deeper problem in anticipating and responding to what was happening on the track. The Qatar Grand Prix was not just a simple disruption, it shook the championship standings in a significant way. For McLaren, the penalty given to Norris felt like a heavy blow. What could have been a strong finish with many points instead turned into a chance loss, letting Ferrari come closer in the Constructors' Championship race. On the other hand, Ferrari was also having a hard time after Sainz's tyre puncture, leading to a weekend filled with troubles. Their dreams of moving up the standings ended up taking a serious hit, making many wonder about their strategy and how they executed their plans. The impact of this race reached further than just the points. Drivers like Hamilton and Russell expressed their anger about how poor management affected their ability to race well, with Hamilton even stating it was one of the most poorly handled races of the season. The fallout from this was clear. The Qatar GP was not only a rough day for the FIA, it was a tough day for all the drivers on the grid. At the finish of the race, the FIA found itself caught in a big storm of criticism. Team leaders like Andrea Stella did not hold back their words. They called for more fair and consistent penalties in the future. Toto Wolff from Mercedes went even further, comparing the decisions of the FIA to a reality show, shining a light on serious problems inside the organization. Meanwhile, the drivers were also very vocal, many of them demanding a full examination of how the FIA handles the races. These remarks were not just expressions of annoyance, they were serious warnings. The Qatar Grand Prix revealed significant weaknesses in the governance of the sport, weaknesses that, if ignored, could threaten the very future of Formula One. The effects of the Qatar Grand Prix were not only felt by teams and drivers, they also impacted the worldwide view of Formula One. Fans across the globe flooded social media, sharing their strong feelings of disappointment and frustration regarding the way the FIA managed the situation. They questioned how the sport can call itself the best in motorsport if such errors continue to occur. The hashtag FIAFail quickly gained traction, transforming what should have been a moment of racing triumph into a public relations disaster. This event highlighted a crucial lesson. Formula One is not solely about speed or skilled drivers. It fundamentally relies on trust. When that trust is broken, even the most exciting races lose their appeal and charm. The Qatar Grand Prix will be remembered as one of the most chaotic and badly handled races in recent times. Yet, this experience shouldn't be wasted. For Formula One to grow and improve, it is very important to focus on strong leadership, quick decision-making, and clear and open management. The FIA has a duty to not only its teams and drivers, but also to fans around the world, to make sure that such problems do not happen again. If you found this detailed look at the Qatar GP helpful, please consider subscribing to our channel for more deep insights and updates. Together, let's hold Formula One responsible and ensure it stays at the top of motorsport for many future generations.